Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a really fun and easy Christmas sublimation craft. We are going to be sublimating glass mason jar tumblers, and the best part is all of these designs are completely free. I created them for you guys and I'm going to be linking them so you can recreate these as well. But before we get started, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing down below. So here are the glass mason jar tumblers that we are going to be sublimating today, and these ones are all frosted. I do have some gloss ones as well, but I'm going to be saving those ones for a future video. I love the way the frosted ones look. They're just so beautiful, and I think that these are going to be great for my morning coffee. And SubliFun did send these to me, so I figured let's try them out and see how they work. I love these ones here with that beautiful ombre color effect. I think that these are going to be so fun for holiday tumblers. I cannot wait to try these out. Also make really great gifts since you can personalize them, and they're just a really fun thing to add into a personalized gift bag as well. And if you guys have never done this before, don't worry, I'm going to take you through all the steps on how we can sublimate these. I'm going to show you the temperature I used as well as the time, and like I mentioned in the beginning, all of the designs that you see today are going to be completely for free. I'm going to link them down below in the video description box to make it super easy. So this is my blog. This is where I'm going to link it to. Once you head over there, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Then you just want to click on that pink link and it's going to open up all three designs that I'm going to be using today. And you can download these and put them into any program you like. I'm going to be putting mine in Pages, which is basically just the Apple version of Word. And it's that simple. You can just print it right from here. So here's Pages. I put all of my designs here. For this tumbler in particular, I found that a good size was 10.25 by 3.5. So I just wanted to make sure that that was the size of my images when I was printing them out. And I did want to show you for the first two designs, it doesn't really matter that much to basically flip the design because it's just images. So if they're backwards, you're not really going to notice. But for that third design, we do have the text that says the North Pole Toy Company. So you do want to make sure to just reverse that image when you are printing it out. That way, when it sublimates onto the glass tumbler, it will be in the right direction. And once you download these, you can also just put them into your program and resize them. So if you have a larger size glass, or if you want to just crop it down a little bit and sublimate it onto something else, you can definitely change the size up. That way it fits whatever you want to use it for. So here's my first one here, and of course we did reverse that image, and this one is just a really fun black design, so I figured this would be great on that red frosted mug and it would really pop. For the other two, I did go with a more colorful design. So that top one I think is so fun. It's all of these vintage style holiday stamps in all different patterns. I think that this one is just adorable. And then for the bottom one, I just went with a really classic gingerbread theme. Links to everything I'm using in this video can be found down below in the video description box. And I did, of course, use sublimation paper as well as sublimation ink to print out these designs. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just trim them down a little bit. That way they're easier to fit onto my glass tumbler. Recently got this paper cutter and it makes things so much easier. Forever I was just cutting it by hand with my scissors, which is totally fine, but this does help things move along a little bit more quickly, and it is so precise and easy to use. I'll link this one down below. I have everything cut out. I'm just going to get my tumblers, and you want to remove that lid before you tape your design on. So for this one here, you just want to make sure that you're lining it up so it's nice and even, and then you just want to pull it as tight as you can and then just tape it closed with some heat transfer tape. Now for this one here, you're going to see when I got to the edge, it was overlapping the design a little bit. So all I did was just kind of trim up some of that extra paper with my scissors, and it had no trouble at all fitting after that. For this design here, it doesn't really go all the way up to the top of the paper. If you do have an image that is really going to be full of ink and kind of wrapping around the entire glass, you do want to go ahead and just put a little bit extra heat transfer tape at the top and the bottom to really hold down that image, especially if it's kind of reaching where the glass starts to curve. That way you get an even transfer, but this one didn't have the ink going all the way up to the top, and any part that did have the ink where it was going to be sublimating onto the glass was the flat part of the glass, so I can kind of get away with just taping it in the back. One other thing that I like to do is just take a piece of computer paper, and I do trim it down a little bit, and I just wrap that around my jar as well and tape it. And that is basically just to protect my machine from any ink that could potentially seep out of the sublimation paper, because if it gets onto your machine, it does create a big mess. So I do like to have a barrier paper in place. Now for this one here, we're going to be sublimating it at 360 degrees for 120 seconds. Once that timer goes, I'm going to open up my machine and I'm going to rotate my glass 180 degrees. Basically just flipping that mason jar all the way around, one rotation. That way the side that was up top will get that full heat for another 120 seconds as well. And when you're taking this out, be very careful. It is of course going to be really hot, so just use some heat protecting gloves. That's what I have on here. And you will see everything turned out great except that one little area where Santa is. I wish it had sublimated a little bit darker, but it does look beautiful. I'm going to show you how I troubleshooted that for the next one, but here's a closer look at that final Santa mug. So I decided to just adjust my machine a little bit. I made the tension a little bit tighter, and then I also did up my degrees by 5 degrees. So instead of 360, I did push it up to 365, and I am going to sublimate it for 120 seconds again on this first one here. Let that go the full time, and then once the timer goes, I'm going to open up my machine, do another rotation, and basically just flip it over, and then close the machine again, and then sublimate it for another 120 seconds. Second mason jar here, I am sublimating that vintage stamp one, and I decided to use this on this glass mason jar that had the frosted yellow on the bottom. I thought it would work really well with some of these retro colors, and I love how this one turned out. It's really vibrant, especially for a frosted glass, and it is just so much fun. Here's a closer look at how it turned out, and I definitely will be using this one for my iced coffee. For my third mason jar, I'm going to be using that plain frosted one with no color, and I decided to go with that really just kind of timeless gingerbread pattern. It's just nice and classic, and I thought that the plain frosted glass would work best for this one. So again, I'm doing the same thing, 365 for 120 seconds on the first side, then I'm flipping it 180 degrees, and then doing it for another 120 seconds. I was so excited to see how this one turned out because it is just such a really cute pattern, and it is of course pretty timeless, that really fun gingerbread print. And I love how this one turned out. I'm going to give you a closer look at it in a second, but it is just so adorable, and I feel like this is one that everyone would love, and this would also be a really fun item to gift if you wanted to kind of give something to a baker in your life. You can pair this one with some homemade gingerbread cookies, or even just kind of bundle this together with a bunch of baking supplies, and I think that would make the cutest gift. And that is everything for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these little sublimation DIYs. They were so much fun to create, and I do have a upcoming sublimation video that is going to be full of a ton of Christmas ideas and gifts, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that one. Thank you guys so much for watching.